Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, if you wanna jam.
They say April showers bring May flowers, but my tears are all dried up. From the moment I was conceived, I've been shit out of luck. Born to Jesus and angelic light, you'd figure my life would be all right. Instead, it's like I'm the second coming of Jesus motherfucking Christ. Put here to suffer for everyone's sins, overcoming obstacle over obstacle, and still I can't win. Do I cry? No. Now I just grin. Although numb, I still stand tall. Throw at me what you want, but I won't fall. I'm here and I can handle it all. Been through far worse for far too long. What didn't kill made me strong. My life is just like Murphy's Law. What can go wrong would go wrong. I'm not complaining. It is what it is. No matter what, I still handle my business. I'm sure there's a really good reason for all of this. One day my showers will fall once more. There'll be tears of joy from once this earth I saw. And May's flowers will greet me at heaven's door, laid upon my tombstone's floor. If all along it was written in my destiny that I lose her young at only 23, was it by God's grace my mother wounded me so perfectly? Carving longings, leaving debris, soul's fragments flowing free. She shaped the ache that forged my fight, penciling shadows, spray painting light. A neglect and pain that sowed defeat, yet sculpted the strength beneath my feet. It wasn't my mother's sole contract to be nurturing, but it wasn't mine to learn forgiving. Through roads of ruin and reckless behavior, I was always framed by divine favor. Her hands molded in me a great divide, each trial a teacher, each stumble a guide. My life's a mural on a collapsing wall, each fracture part of the sprawl. So though the past could have left me colder, it created a masterpiece, paint chips off my shoulder. What she couldn't give runs deep. What she couldn't give runs deep. Drawing the mother my children need. Through love, through loss and retreat, she broke me open. Now I am complete. Someone once asked me, you remember supposedly that situation that happened with Danny? The way people can describe one of the worst moments of your life, supposedly, as if by some chance you were lying and the events didn't happen. That situation, minimizing the actual crime that has forever traumatized me, that happened with Danny, how the mere mention of a name can cause so much anxiety, anger, and pain. You mean when he raped me? I was only 17, and the adults who should have protected me did nothing. He'd come around and everyone just pretended it didn't happen. When he suffered no consequences, never got into trouble, because discussing rape makes people uncomfortable. As I felt like dying while crawling in my skin, thoughts screaming so loudly, yet remained silent. The moment that haunted every nightmare into my 40s, replaying scenarios of what I could have done differently until a series, 13 Reasons, gave me the reason freeze, the common response to a sexual assault. Can you imagine blaming yourself all those years for something that wasn't your fault?
I learned quite quickly not to look for love among those who have no time for the oppressed. For though the fire of the greed may at times mimic the light, it is indeed a consuming flame. Certain ornate caskets speak silently of extravagant designs, exquisite flowers, and the robes of the pallbearers. They tell tales in the elegance of followers and military camouflage, yet the soul bird flies away. Callousness frequently sits on thrones, and ignorance may hide in opulence and ceremonies. One should not expect anything but pain from those who seek to control you in chains, as complacency is the norm, empathy a distant virtue. I learned quite quickly not to linger around those who drank the honey of folk tongues, For as a moth attracted by the very flame that kills it, one can be exposed to the stickiness of the pseudo-sweetness they spew, stained by the very toxins in their breath. I learned very quickly not to close my eyes to those offering to come in the guise of stability and security, for they build networks in the vicinity of my resources, siphoning the natural wealth while my people starve in the shadows. I saw kindness in the eyes of the impoverished and dignity in their hearts. They knew spontaneously how to give, even while confronting the brutal patterns designed to keep them in abject poverty. They showed sacrifices made of gold, while the rich and opulent amass vaults of greed in offshore accounts, failed to respond to a mercy quite alien to their persona. I learned very quickly to be wary of statutes written for my freedom, as current hearts still hold the very chains erased from the right hand, now held firmly in the left. For light is the ultimate freedom, and if the stars do not shine at night, then the dark will not know what it is like to kiss the moon. So I love, both going through the fire of identity, courage, and the healing balms of the moon's kiss, learning to see the supernal beauty in a sometimes cruel world.
If I had to make these current events digestible, I wouldn't sugarcoat it. I would make sure to omit any kind of fructose syrup propaganda that prevents you from having guts. I don't care how bad your stomach bubbles with something that doesn't sit right. Won't substitute the bitter truths for candy-coated lies. I won't tell you the government is trying its best, but things are just too complicated. I will tell you the President of the United States and his appointed cronies are starving the poor population for political gain. Make you swallow it like a spoonful of sand or a throat full of nails. I will refuse my tongue the will to say anything artificially sweetened by Florida's change of history. We don't all have dementia, just the government and the president. I won't speak about the illegal aliens invading our safe spaces. I will only speak of America dressing white supremacy into masked federal agents to terrorize anything darker than bland white chicken or just add water potatoes. I will not season this history with sofrito, sazon, or any ingredient outside of boiled hot dogs and overcooked hamburgers. I don't care how much your intestines beg your stomach to close the throat, how American pie tastes exactly like Nazi Germany, like expired milk and apple cider vinegar. Any way you mix it, it will always be putrid, rancid, rotten meat, and mold crawling on cheese. A fermented American dream trying to be Jim Jones Kool-Aid, to which I won't add any sugar, spice, or anything nice. If I can't say they're killing children every day, I will say they love them. They love them so much, they want to marry them earlier. They want them to bear more children earlier, to serve the military, to work earlier. They want childhood to be gentrified into a state of pedophilia, and like any other hood, they want first dibs. When they say, fuck them kids, they mean it. And I know this can all be hard to swallow without propaganda, without something to whitewash it down. But I won't sugarcoat it. I want you to stomach the truth exactly the way it is.
There's this thing I used to say, when times are tough but don't last, everything's temporary, this too shall pass. I used to think that, saying that 100%, but maybe not anymore. Perhaps not in the way you expect. In life, a lot of things and people come and go. Nothing seems permanent a weird ebb of flow of seemingly constant change and adaptation to new environments and situations that strain the body and spirit, war torn from the daily blitzkrieg of bullshit that seems to be playing on repeats as if life was a broken record player that plays slightly different beats. The longer that record player gets used in that condition, no progress will be made to better one's perception. And I, for one, would love to be the one who can provide you life in high definition. I would love to listen to the song of life with you without a skip, letting us groove, get us to move, dancing hip to hip without breaking a sweat but still drip. See, we're so fly like that. We're like two halves of a rocket ship that propels each other to a one-way trip to reality that we can conquer any hardship. The sheer thought of always being there for you, it need imbues me to be anything you need me to be. You see, my love language is shape-shifting and varied, and I am more than capable of speak in pleasantries in the style of Gomez to Morticia with ease. I would die for you. I would kill for you. Either way, what bliss. I can't imagine a more worthy pair of lips to kiss. To experience you fully, cara mia, is can't miss. Let's silence each other's demons sweetfully as they learn to dance together ever so neatly. With grounding and reassurance, we can love concretely when the blazing sun has turned to mud and the moon lies dead in a pool of blood. As the tom-tom beat of eternity starts, whom will I love in my heart of hearts? You. There is no doubt that this feeling is true. This attraction, this gravitation towards you, the burning desire to provide you a fresh new view on how life and love can be, boo. I wish I hadn't wasted so much energy chasing others when the best match was literally right in front of me. In short, not everything is temporary, and now it's easy to see that I am for you, and you're for me.
What if I never went home again? What if, knowing what I know now about you, I could never? You've shown your true colors of betrayal too many times. There's nothing left for me here. It's been many years of unhappiness. We no longer see clearly the same vision. I need a revision. A peaceful home you do not provide. In my home, you still reside. But you're a solo project and confirmed bachelor forever. I can only claim temporary insanity, thinking it could be any other way. Call me a hopeless romantic when I asked you to stay. Now I want you to leave, and I no longer care where. My heart has been irreparably damaged from all the tears you put there. Maybe someday it will heal, or maybe it's perpetual confusion. I'm through trying harder than you, living in your delusion, and there was never a place or a love to call my own. Sitting at the bar, writing bars, having 0 beer and 0 rounds, and no connection to the humans on this side of the ground.
There are warriors, destined for destiny's red carpet, posing for muzzle flashes, hashtag catastrophe, in prone positions of you can't handle a bullet's truth, ordered behind an honorable death's tinted lenses, seeing life through failure is not an option, colored cataracts. I mean, pain is a luxury brand too expensive for survival to afford on a soldier's salary. Leave customers hashtag breathless, restless as reckless souls who can't sleep in karma-coated caskets, who take no prisoners in uniform, sending souls to a hell's heavenly gates, a dirty dime a dozen. Infamy-stained brimstone lips, tongue-kissing gun smoke in a sundown town called home on a range where killers get smoked like nicotine for breakfast, a totally addicted holy hero in psalm-scented vicious lands of you're not welcome here, bleeding a reservoir dog's last bite, leave them hungry as a hellion's hostage. Tell me, How in a helter-skelter's best day can a man's son mayhem make a killing jokes? Why so serious? Last will and testament, blessed with gifts of carnage, armed with greedy bullets, starving for savagery on a reaper's fish scale, for sins of men who box jellyfish for calisthenics, poisonous, with gloves made of every Dr. Jekyll's Mr. Hyde, and go seek me a devil to play with, call him Dante, born a divine comedy with battle in his left hand, no retreat in his right, to sons who find peace in conflict, switch levers from I bet you thought you were safe to semi-automata, rat-a-tat-a, blood splatter, make 3-round bursts a delicacy for hungry grave diggers, jonesing for tombstone covered forget-me-nots. Reveille me a sanctuary of fallen angels, with wings burnt by an Icarus wish list pointed toward sun rays bounced off silver linings, blinding bashful bastards basking in bourgeoisie backroom deals, breaking, broken breaths suffocated by blacked out dialects that sound like this is my rival, this is my gun, this is for fighting, this is for fun. There are many like this. But this one is mine, call it savior, attitude adjuster for ill behavior. Let God's infinite wisdom caress stressful deaths into now I lay me down to sleep, made Mother Mary's prayers, set sail on sunset sonnets that Shakespeare every love affair Saint Michael ever graced. A weapon of mass destruction's virginity made gods of war horny devils, with blood on roots, blood on leaves for wicked seas that lay enemies to rest in filthy fucking pieces.
Kindness, soft, tender, intimate, as delicate as the butterfly is she, silent, reaching, gentle, elusive as a child's smile, yet firm like life's sweet caress in adversity. She sits in our sanctum, awaiting the heart's prod like strands of silk to the cocoon. Empathy and concern are her synergies, like flowers to the bees and butterflies, nestling in harmony, sharing the splendor of colorful spring. Her light, a taste of sunset on scarlet horizons, emanating the garden of the soul. She paints the color of rainbows on my cheeks, as each new dawn reminds me of a sweet scent, a redolence of human jasmines, reaching out in solace to my afflictions with deeds of love divine. Kindness, like the gleaming firefly dancing in the atmosphere, offering freely the magic of its hue, like roses emitting the charm without conditions, so too you come dancing in our hearts, a lusted moonlight, a remedial balm from some good soul who feel the need, like the elegance to the swan, to do the needful. And my final piece. If you should see me crying, if you should see a distant smile upon my face, it is because my heart speaks a language that springs forth from another realm. I may look at you with eyes dazed, for my soul is pulsing a sweet wine, beating a symphony of holiness, too bewildering to describe. If you should hear my breath quickens, stay calm. It is neither sickness nor malady of the mind. Don't call the doctor, as within this breath sings the melody of the unnamed. At best, I'll hug and kiss you. At worst, I will remain in a drunken state. O lantern, what is this unseen within the scene? My lips are sealed, but love's transmitting the fire of our enchantment from the temple of the sun.
I love them more than a body ever could, more than fingers want to move. Mothers simultaneously watch babies stay the same and grow into new worlds the same way God does. I remember when they were flutterbys. I love her more than the ocean loves the moon. I saw her run in a field of music, arms spread wide. She jumped and took flight, a paper plane of poetry, the pilot without gravity, the fighter jet. And he tumbles and rumbles his way through this new world. My baby is a lion cub trying to find his floor. I see it in his hands. The world is putty in his paws. I spend my days patching these shoulders and the spine, trying to hold up the sky. Children shouldn't be crushed by the weight of the world. Clouds are weighed in elephants, and kids are just kids. They don't know what to do with the elephants in the room. It is my job to weather doom.
Let me unwind your mind and take you out of the box that you put yourself in. Once awakened, you will move as such, and your mind will never sleep again. Honey, that woman don't look like what she been through. As women, we hold each other to a certain accountability. We have to vibe and connect together in ways that first allow us to be friends. And we make sure we show love, loyalty, and respect to just them. You know, your mother, sister, cousin, aunties, and best friends. Now, I'm not trying to tell you not to love on your faves, because, honey, I love on mine. But God wants us to love everyone. That means no one left behind. Sometimes we forget that life is life all the time, and not just to us. As women, we don't often recognize the hate we afflict on those we can't relate with. Us women can be some very harsh individuals. We dismiss people from what we can physically see. And if we don't like the inner them, dismiss they would be. Never really knowing the treasures that hide within, most women hate their own reflection. So if we remind them of them, that counts us in. Women make people earn love that God gives for free, then be upset when they decline the fee. See, you never know the pages within a book unless you open it up to take a look. You don't know how that woman had to fix her crown alone. See, you may not have to fix yours on your own. With heartbreaks and letdowns that came with tears that burnt her face, that pain that may have took forever to erase. Yet we often judge from mannerisms and the way we think you should and shouldn't be, never knowing the story that you as a woman had to pave. In this world that's filled with so much hate, see, manipulation, and being narcissistic are toxic traits that could have put that woman in her grave. Yes, we really do choose what we tolerate depending on who it is. You know our special people list, but as women, we have to learn to lift each other up. No matter where she lives, her height, weight, or education, we let labels mistake us into seeking validation, and for those who would never really care. So I'll say this to every woman near or far: if I ever tore you down when you felt tall and made you feel very small, I apologize for it all from the bottom of my heart. This time around, I'll take better care of me because heal people heal people. Now, I wish I knew that from the start, but here is a story just to help you understand that nothing, it seems like, when you're looking from the outside looking in. At birth from the hospital, she didn't come home. Her mother named her after her grandmother and told her to take her as her own tables turned. And grandma, she wanted to be grown. She told her daughter, no, you take care of your own. Things began to happen. Before the little girl was 1 year, she had already been molested. In the beginning of her preteen, she was told she had no virginity. This put the little girl mind on pause for no one to restart. Trauma took her soft heart and made it hard and cold. Only God could restore that little girl's soul. Yet she poured love into others that she never received herself. This made the devil angry. Everything he tried, no success. Two suicide attempts, yet she still lives. Truth is, there's so much more to the story. She now serves God and lives in his glory. And trust me, I know this to be true. Because the story I told with effortless flow is my own truth. And no, I'm not telling it to seek sympathy from you. But as women, we have to understand if you see anyone's crown slipping and about to fall, catch it before it dropped. You don't even have to let her know it was off so her world doesn't have to stop. Because trust me, what she been through, she don't show. So let that lady glow, glow, glow. You don't know what made her who she is today. No matter the road she had to take, we thank God she walks by faith. And even though my journey is not yet through, I pray that I be the rose that stay red. That means never losing the color God gave me or you. Now, you may have judged this book, but I pray you never judge another, because we are women. We are supposed to empower each other. And now that I have unwound your mind and took you out of the box that you put yourself in, you are now awakened and released.
Broken as the morning, the first sliver of light piercing through darkness, peeking over misty horizon, white diamonds dangle from pierced ears. As the bride catches her breath, bottles up fears, and step after step rehearsed in her mind for years, the promenade, the music of the trees, speaking to the breeze, the harp strings plucks. Ripples of tears fill her cheeks. Joy slices through the hardest of hearts, with golden rings wrapped around promised fingers, pinned down with heavy satin roses. Corset laced up tight, dresses, heavenly fragrant bouquets of flowers thrown behind backs at hopeful single ladies. All the single ladies, all the single ladies put their hands up and hope to catch it. Catching the impossible, perfect dreams of so many succumb to falling in love with love. Beautifully made up watching makeup tutorials on TikTok. Impressionable bought into the lie, youthful faces or the wise old maids who seem lost and lonely, but who never looked unhappy or for the love of their lives to save them on purpose. Dancing with death. It's too late for if I die young. I'm an old woman now. Although I don't feel it. Although sometimes I forget things. I read, whoops. I read somewhere that if you can get buried in your backyard, your place can be tax free. I'm not sure if that's against any laws. I want to be buried for that purpose, to save my family money, because mom spent the inheritance in order to live in this unaffordable, ungodly, fascist country. Or if not, possibly burned to be fertilizer for the trees. There is no humanity today, and no point trying to have services when no one will show up, like the many fake friends making false promises when I lived.
God bless rich people during the holiday season. Your ability to afford to not only buy all those decorations, but to be able to afford the electric bill amazes me to no end. If it weren't for rich people, I wouldn't have this sweet, free double recliner sofa chilling in my living room, or these free, tame, not psychedelic light shows y'all provide outside that I can add to my own soundtrack to. My ADHD thanks you. And seeing how it is unseasonably mild as of late, the moths want to subscribe to your home's only lights account. The sleeping medication manufacturers thank you as well, for their sales have increased by 141 and 2/3% since October, with projected 33 and 1/3% more by the end of the year. Wait, is that how y'all are hoarding the wealth? Y'all get rich, pushing hella product into the streets and buy from each other over time? Smart motherfuckers. This ball game is rigged. White collar America is still wearing the same old pair of 1919 Chicago black socks, still thinking it's 1919 in a socio-political standpoint, treating anyone who isn't a straight God-fearing white male feel worth less than a protozoa's waste. Yo, rotting corpse of Reaganomics. Please tell me when the wealth is going to trickle down before more blood of the homeless and innocents trickles down, flooding the cracks of sidewalks and pavements, spewing from the street gutters, seeping into the soil of the cursed burial grounds of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, rooting class struggle deeper into the earth to the point that begins to spread a fiery greed-driven cancer through the forests and woodlands, the rivers and oceans, the air we breathe, and the sky we cannot see.
We gathered in the day room, rooting for him to get away, yelling at the TV, "Go, OJ, go!" His white Bronco drove casually across LA freeways as we continued to shout, "Go, OJ, go!" Watch the trial, the people versus Simpsons. But it felt like versus all of us. Go, OJ, go. The glove don't fit, so you must have quit, 'cause Cochran told you so. Go, OJ, go. Praying for exoneration. Court clerk Deidre Robinson, what say you? Not guilty. Go, OJ, go. This was the mentality of an ignorant minority juvenile delinquent, J.O. Go, OJ, go. Can't blame my behavior, product of my environment, for society made it so. Go, OJ, go. Police brutality, abuse of power, racial profiling, self-esteem was low. Go, OJ, go. Rodney King, can we all just get along? He was the voice for the poor. Go, OJ, go. Fast forward 20 years later, now capable of realizing true tragedy. No, OJ, no. Battered domestic violence victim murdered while her kids sleep. No, OJ, no. A shooting star falls from grace, once a hero, now a disgrace. No, OJ, no. Time flies, now wise, yet Eric Garner's "I Can't Breathe" still cries. Will things change? No, not until you let my people go. Tamir Rice, let my people go. Sandra Bland, let my people go. George Floyd, let my people go. They told Dee Dee she was having a girl, and I loved her from the moment she entered the world. Naming her was my greatest delight, a fragile flame already born to fight. Dee Dee still craved alcohol and weed, so my only niece came early, small, in need. I walked the halls to see her born, but had the boys, so I couldn't return. Many nights she slept on my chest, so tiny my heart could never rest. Her cheeks too weak to take feed. We squeezed each drop for her to succeed. Since my niece and nephews were always near, strangers would ask, "Are they yours, dear?" As Titi, I loved them like my own, bound by blood, by love and home. When I moved out, I was torn apart. Leaving them bruised broke my heart. Would they be safe? Would they be fed? These thoughts kept turning inside my head. Selfishly, I shook it out my mind. I had sacrificed so many years of my own life, helping raise Dee Dee's children all those years. My leaving branded me with tears. So every holiday, every birthday, I was there. I wish my kids had an aunt like me that cared. Raising a child takes a village, so my moving out made me the villain. Dee Dee got pregnant again. My niece was 9. My requests to take her were now declined. See, Dee Dee needed a new babysitter, so I'll take them all so she wouldn't be bitter. We'd go to parks, beaches, and pools. I'll shop every year buying them stuff for school. Dee Dee always cried broke. Every cent she got, she literally smoked. Some summers and some weekends with me they still spent. Year after year, it's how things went. Until Dee was paid to leave her apartment. Dee at a hotel and the kids living with me. That time, though, it was just for a few. As their aunt, I was willing to help however I had to. The boys moved on, my niece remained. Her laughter eased what life had pained. I did my best, or so I thought. But through her eyes, new truths were taught. I gave them things, I gave them care. But touch and warmth, I struggled there. To one abused, a hug can burn. But love can heal when lessons turn. I vowed to grow, to right what's past, to give them love that's built to last, to be for them what I once craved, the voice, the arms, the soul that saved. But Dee Dee's rage grew sharp and wild, the mother lost, the wounded child. I'll call her wrong, she'll curse and fume. Still I told her kids, that's mom, make room. No child should bear a burden so strong to forgive a mother who's done them wrong. I begged her, Dee, please change, please see. But her chains were pride and misery, toxic kin, disease of the soul. They drain your joy, they take control, contaminating every spark in your life, every achievement stolen by their drama and strife. I learned what a narcissist is, the monster stealing their mom and my sis. Unfortunately, narcissists can never change. They will play victim and find someone else to blame. They'll never take accountability. So I had to distance myself to protect my sanity. Throwing her lies like ashes on my name. Betrayal is the only hurt that remains. I learned to love Dee Dee from afar. The damage she's inflicted on me still leaves jagged scars. Still, through the pain, my niece stands tall. Proof that love can outlast all. Her spirit fierce, her laughter bright. She turned out our darkness into light. Now autumn paints the sky in gold, each falling leaf a story told. In every loss, new life begins. Her strength renews the fire within. For seasons turn and hearts revive. Through pain we fall, through love we thrive. And though the past still whispers near, I thank the wind that brought her here. This time of year always brings me to tears. Thanksgiving at your place the last time I saw your face. Hope the pain doesn't last and the day quickly pass, but it drags on so long. For the kids, I must stay strong. Cooked up all this food, everyone compliments. It's so good. For them, it's no waste, but for me, I cannot taste. Thought another year would bring relief, yet my mouth's paralyzed still with grief. Drown out sorrows in this rum, goals to become numb. Concentrate, be sure to nod. Laughter replaces urge to sob. Time for the why I'm thankful speech. Attempt to speak, voice releases painful screech. Quick, say something, throw them off. Clear throat, pretend to cough. I thank you, Lord, for this meal. Awaken me another day to feel, and especially the ability to make new memories with the gift that keeps on giving, my beautiful family.